good, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Manifesting with Karmic Psycho. My name is Shakayla. Here on my channel, I discuss manifesting the life you deserve to have, my process and journey to ascension, and of course, spirituality in general. If you are new here to my channel, thanks for joining me. I am super excited to have you with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and click the like button if you enjoyed this reading. And of course, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because each and every one of your subscribes counts, as I am getting closer and closer to being monetized. And I am super grateful. Big shout out goes to the spiritual family. As always, I'm super grateful to hold this space of healing and unconditional love with you guys. And I'm just glad that you're here with me another week. Now, I know it's been a couple weeks since I've posted, but listen, guys, I really had to take some time to pour energy back into myself because, like you're about to hear in the message for the flame reading, I was really like putting a lot of energy into a lot of things, like going, and my body couldn't take it no more. Not only could my body not take it no more, emotionally, physically, spiritually, I was just like really drained and found myself ended up in the hospital. Like my Crohn's is just like not happy. If you're wondering what I'm using some of the Bahati Life. This is an oil that I purchased from her, the All Healing Miracle Intention Oil. And as we move into this message, I just felt called to use this today, to channel this today. So occasionally I do like to read a flame, and as I am cleansing my cards and myself and my energy for the reading, the flame was super big, super bright at first, and really just like a lot of intense like wavering. As you can see, like it kind of like went off, and even still has like a strong amount of smoke to cleanse with. And I really want to highlight about that and how that connects to today's message of just like putting a lot of energy into something like really heavy on the passion and everything like that. And then either your feelings changing about it and then it just kind of dwindling down or whatever. But as we're coming out of Libra season and moving into Scorpio season, it's super important that we find the balance between our mental and our emotional state, okay? So that we can continue working towards our purpose. Because right now there's just a lot of stagnant / distracted energy going around, and it's really important to stay grounded. So there's that. Now, this message, I'm going to try and keep it like short and to the point, and we'll see how it goes. But you'll be seeing this on Saturday. So this is a Saturday message, okay? If you guys are not familiar, I'm going to link a video here about how each day of the week holds different energy. And for Saturn, Saturn is a planet of discipline and responsibility. So when we're in Saturn energy, we are more ambitious. We tend to be a little bit more responsible and even courageous. So it's like, we're not really letting our fears and stuff hold us back. Saturn represents like the limitations and restrictions that we place on ourselves within our birth chart. So the first thing that I'm going to do jumping into the reading is use my brand new deck that I just made. I have no name for it yet. Me and Ro are working together, and I can't wait to like announce more exciting things about what we're doing with our decks and our card lines. But this one is specifically all about the birth chart. It's only 12 cards, okay? And each card talks about a different house, okay? And it tells you all about the different houses. So you want to automatically look into where Saturn is in your chart, period. So you can see how these energies are impacting you at this moment. I also want you guys to be mindful that I'm also channeling energy for the sacral chakra, and really the solar plexus chakra too, okay? So the sacral and the solar plexus is a lot where we find our confidence, a lot where we are in tune with the feminine energy, finding comfortability and authenticity, and allowing our inner light to shine brightly, okay? So let's see which house it is today. Thank you, Spirit. Just one card, please. Okay. So this is interesting. I've been seeing a lot of 5s all week. I've been seeing 2, 3, 4. I've been seeing a lot of 11, 11, 11. I've been seeing a lot of variations of 2s and definitely variations of 5, okay? So just like what I was picking up on the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, 5 is represented by the sign of Leo, and it is all about personal creativity. It's saying it's I serve, okay? And it's the house of will, which has to do with creativity, play, romance, entertainment, pleasure, and children. So right now we're going to be tapping into that inner child, going into this message like there's a lot of inner child wounds being pulled out of us right now during Scorpio season. It's like for Libra season, it was like finding justice and really, I guess, considering the times where you were injustices, or even when you was the person that was in the position where you might have made a mistake or treated somebody wrongly, you know what I'm saying? And basically, I don't want to say like receiving the karma from that, but now having the self-reflection on the other side of who you were in that version of yourself, giving yourself grace because you didn't have the tools at the time, ultimately sending your past self love and having gratitude for the growth that you've had since then, okay? And of course, I'm using me and Rose deck. Still does not have a name yet, and when it does, I'll let you know, of course. What was I gonna say? Okay, before I pull any cards, I really kind of want to move into my message. So the first thing that I'm going to do is do the affirmation of the week, and I'm gonna pull from my podcast, I've Got Time, which of course is always linked below in the description box. And this week's affirmation is healthy and effective communication help my relationships and I to grow. So I'm going to link it below in the, I'm going to pin it, the pinned comment, the affirmation like I always do. This week on the podcast, we discuss the 5 different communication styles, which I will link this video in which I referenced to, and talked about the different communication styles and things like that. Now, as I was listening back to this episode, I honestly felt like quite a bit of shame listening to my girlfriend talk about her past experiences and just reflecting on when I might have been that person in other relationships. All week I kind of been reeling a little bit, in a sense, like kind of just reflecting on who I used to be, the growth that I've had. And I did feel like, you know, a little bit of kind of like sadness and regret just for the relationships that I might have fumbled when I was in those versions of myself that was operating out of PTSD, that was having narcissistic behaviors and things, because I really dead ass didn't know any better. Like, I didn't know that what I was doing was wrong. So I've had quite a bit of reflection and just feelings coming away from that. Like, so you may be in this same energy too, just like this is the energy of Saturn. So it's like discipline and responsibility. It's like learning from your past mistakes and applying it to your current life now. Like, Okay, maybe I might have been this type of person in the past, but now I'm on a completely different vibration or whatever. And the people that are meant to receive that energy from me at this time is going to get that. So really giving grace to myself and the relationships that I used to be in, that we were reflecting on each other, and neither one of us was more wrong in the situation, if that makes sense. And then I also have a music message, okay, for you guys. So this week's music message is by Mariah the Scientist. And I kind of want to like talk about Mariah the Scientist a little bit before I talk about the song. So she's like an R&B singer that has surfaced in the last couple years. And there's been a lot of conversation around her and her talent. I personally really like her music. I like her vibe. It's just like kind of me in a sense. Like it almost gives that Janae Aiko type of vibe, like soft and sensual. But the thing is that like when she goes to perform live, she sounds so bad, so terrible. And I don't know if they in the studio mixing and matching that good, or she just, some people is not a live singer type of talent or whatever. But either way, she's gaining a lot of popularity. And from that, I really just want to like share this message with you, is that you're not going to be for everybody. Everybody's not going to fuck with your energy or what it is that you're putting out, what it is that you're creating, whatever it is that you do, whatever is your thing. It's not for everybody to partake in. And the sooner that you realize that your people are going to be the ones that support you, the ones that, like actually partake in what it is that you're trying to do, just be grateful for those people, and, not put too much energy towards the people who don't, or who are not capable of supporting you, or just genuinely don't like it. Like everybody is not going to like what it is that you're doing. So, and that doesn't mean that you can't still be successful. That doesn't mean that you still won't complete your goals. Like, make sure you're just putting more energy into the things and the people that are giving you support and love, and don't even think about anybody else besides that. You know what I'm saying? So the song that is the channel music message today is called About Mine. And there's specific lyrics that I want to go over. And she says, took a loss, ain't nothing perfect. Plus all these different versions, got my wires crossed. There's no going back, babe. This going tragically. Higher than most, I'm lifted. Keep it on me, no need in pretending. I remind you every time you a vibe, but you done lost your fucking mind. Okay. I'm gonna like go over the lyrics to kind of like say what I want to say about in this message. So this song basically is about like fumbling the bag on a relationship pretty much, or just like when a relationship in and you kind of still be missing that person or still be wanting it back away, but at the same time being present with who you are in the moment and knowing that that person doesn't really deserve you anyways. And it's okay to still want it. It's okay to reflect on the memory of what it was, but knowing that just in the scheme of things, like sometimes with relationships, it just be, I met this person, or I might have fell in love with this person, but at the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be, and it was just karmic. You know what I mean? So what she say is she took a loss and ain't nothing perfect. And I want to like look at these lyrics and think about how like we are such a reflection to each other. So like when we in relationships with people, whether it's platonic, romantic, familiar, the more personal growth you have, the more that you ascend, the more that you realize that you are completely reflecting in your relationships, and both of y'all is mirroring each other's energy. It's just based off of your perception and how it is that you choose to look at that other person, how you choose to basically assign a story to them based off of how much you have healed, literally. So when she say this, she say, I took a loss and ain't nothing perfect. It's like either you or that person is not reflecting that you missed out. You know what I'm saying? But also at the same breath, understanding that nobody is perfect and like you just didn't have the tools at the time. The loss was meant to happen. You can't take everything with you, babes. And then when she say plus all these different versions, it's like us ourselves, we experiencing different versions of ourselves in different points of our lives and grieving who we used to be. Okay, because that's the thing, is like sometimes we miss the old versions of ourselves. I was talking to Ro about that earlier this week, and it was just like, sometimes it's sad. Sometimes it's like, when you have a transformation within yourself and you start to ascend, sometimes you miss the old you. Sometimes you miss those old relationships, and it's dead ass like a funeral to your life of the different versions that you used to be, but also death to those people, because who you even was in relationship with them at the time, they're probably not even that same version of them. And then we keep retelling our stories about them, like this person's a narcissist, or this person did me so wrong. And it was just like, they didn't have the tools either. And at that point, instead of saying, oh, I forgive this situation, I forgive myself, nobody needs forgiveness. Queen Cup put out a message this week. I'm going to tag it. And she basically was saying like, forgiveness is bullshit. The only thing that you need to have is acceptance. Acceptance for what is now. Acceptance for what happened. And acceptance for where you are in your healing journey about each situation. And then putting your energy towards what's important right now in the current moment. And she said, got my wires crossed. There's no going back, babe. So like, once the call ends, like just think about like a phone call. Once that call ends, you can't get back that same phone call or whatever. Like, it's done. The energy is over. Once the cycle is closed, it's closed. And anytime that you try and put yourself back into a cycle that you have already ascended from, you're just going to keep learning the same lessons, okay? And this is when the higher self jumps in and says, higher than most I'm living. Keep it on me. Ain't no need in pretending. Once you jump into a new version of yourself, you cannot go back to the old version. It's going to be hard to hang out with those same people. Your energy and your body's going to feel different. Even say like if it's something like, for me personally, I'm learning to be healthier with the way that I eat. Okay. And this has been a long journey for me. For at least the last 10 years, I've been like slowly getting better at eating. And honestly, my diet is better than it has ever been, ever. And at this point, I can't go back to the old me that was just like eating whatever. It doesn't even feel good. It doesn't even feel right. I was literally on the phone with Ro the other morning, and I hadn't ate nothing yet for the day, but I was craving something sweet. So me and my kids had just went to the dollar store to get snacks. I go in the cabinet, I open up the cookie, I open it, and when I tell you the cookie was so nasty, like, first of all, it was stale a little bit, but the cookie was just nasty. Like, it didn't taste good to me. And she was like, yeah, that cookie's nasty, ain't it? And I was like, it's so fucking disgusting. And like, so then I kind of like took a breath for a minute, felt at home in my body, and was like, okay, I still want something sweet. And then I just ate some watermelon, and it was like so much more satisfying to me. You know what I mean? So it's like really in our daily choices, us choosing to step into the new version of who we are, to honor the growth that we've come across, and not to go back once we've been ascended. Because once you step into the light, bro, ain't no pretending, and there's no going back to who you used to be. Once you start to be your authentic self, it's so hard to go back to pretending, to masking, to code switching, to any of that shit. Like, it's just not. It's gonna end bad every time when you do. And Spirit is just here to remind you every single time, that you forget who you are, all the work that you put into be this current version of yourself, you're losing it. You're losing your mind right now. And you need to ground yourself and get back immediately. So the next thing that I want to talk about in my channel message is The Alchemist, the book. I don't know if I did I don't think I did, because I think I only did one, but I definitely need to do one for this. But The Alchemist is a book, okay? It's super good. It's basically about this dude who goes off into the desert to find his personal freedom. His basically like, basically his life purpose. Big North Node energy, okay? So he was stepping out of the South Node and getting into the North Node. So through all of this, he meets an alchemist, and this alchemist is basically sending him on his journey so that he can learn how to transmute energy for himself, which ultimately is going to lead him to that personal legend. So the first thing is big heavy energy for Scorpio season is transmutation, and that's just like the energy being something and then you turn it into something else, okay? And you might be an alchemist depending on what you are. Like I am an alchemist of ideas. I am an alchemist of graphic design. I see something in my mind's eye and I create it into a physical thing, okay? What are you an alchemist of? It's all about tapping into your personal individual superpowers and then transmuting the energy within that. And then on a daily basis, being in tune with yourself, being in tune with your inner child and your higher self, and thinking what it is that you need in the exact moments to support yourself through the daily challenges of life, at the same time while continuing towards your purpose, having grace for the challenges and issues and mistakes that we might be having, sending love to yourself when you still make mistakes, and like continuously growing through it. So there's what alchemists call a philosopher's stone. And so the philosopher's stone is basically a mystical substance, and it's supposed to change any type of metal into gold, okay? So this could look like you're turning mercury into gold, you're turning iron into gold, you're turning all these things into gold. And what it's supposed to do is basically supposed to cure all diseases and prolongs life indefinitely. It makes you invincible, right? And all of that is really subjective into where it is that your perception is of what does it mean to live a long life? What does it mean to be free of all diseases? All of it is based on perception and like what that means to transmute. So when we think about it in terms of astrology, us moving from Libra into Scorpio, Libra is an air element, okay? So the air, that's all mental stimulation. That's not only what are you doing and thinking about creatively, like we are in this 5 energy, having the flexibility. This is also when we think about, why am I going blank right now? Finding balance in those mental blockages that we have, pretty much. And then when we move into Scorpio, this is a water sign, okay? And this is where we are now transmuting with our emotions. What is it that we are feeling? Allowing those feelings to be present, to intuitively tell us what's next, or to tell us what we want or don't want, or to tell us when something is right for us or not right for us, just listening to that. So you're going from the thought process, releasing the fears and the blockages that's holding you back from taking action. And then you're moving to the emotional state and finding balance within those emotions and saying, okay, this is how I feel, acknowledging how I feel. And depending on what you need at the moment, either having a healthy coping mechanism to process that emotion, or allowing your emotions to just be honest and keep it real with you. Like, to me, I'm starting to look at my emotions like another friend. You know what I mean? Like, hey girl, what's up today? What are we feeling and what do I need? And being present in that. Because we are all alchemists, like I said, it just depends on what you are an alchemist of, if that makes sense. So there's one thing in the book. Me and my kids have been listening to the audiobook, and tonight we were listening, and he says, anyone that interferes with another's personal legend will never find their own. And I really kind of wanted to share like a personal story that I kind of honestly been thinking about the last couple of days. Well, I feel like it has led up to this. And then when I heard this, it made me think about this experience I had. So, if you ever listen to my dating podcast, Three Strikes, then you've probably heard a ton of story about my last relationship. Not the one that I'm in now with Cherry, but the one before that. And this relationship was so toxic for a number of reasons. But honestly, we both had our own toxic ways that we was mirroring on each other. And by the time of the breakup, I just felt like this person had did me so wrong and so dirty. And now this is like, I'm going to say 2 years later that we haven't been together. Maybe, I mean, it's been a minute since like 2020. Okay. And, now I'm starting to have more reflection about what occurred in the relationship, my part in the unhealthiness, and also why the relationship didn't work out. And I don't want to be in that relationship. I'm very much happy with Cherry and I love her so much, and that's the person that I want to be with. But now I found myself this week kind of like going back and actually processing the breakup, because I never did that. Like I never actually processed it and accepted why it didn't work out. It happened and I didn't have no choice but to have acceptance for it. But I don't think I like deeply accepted it, because this is somebody that I made plans with, that we talked about marriage with, that like I really seen a future with. So it's kind of like now at this point, I'm kind of grieving who I was in that relationship, the version of me that was so fucking toxic, and just the relationship ending, and it meant to be exactly what it was, okay, and having acceptance for that. So I'm gonna start pulling some cards because Spirit is channeling, and I'm like need to come back to the story. So the first card that we have coming out is Still Broken, and this is the energy 50, the energy 50, okay? So when I look at this card, it's kind of just explaining this energy that I'm talking about is like us in Scorpio season. You can't really hide from anything. Like the shadow is coming out, babes. So like whatever it is that you are not, or you have not processed, and right now is at the forefront, it's ready, this cycle needs to be closed. Spirit is like pulling that out in Scorpio season, and it's going to be different for every one of us. So it just has to be how it applies to you. Like, what are you still haven't healed from that right now in this moment is holding you back from moving into your next cycle? So like, for me personally, if I'm saying like my relationship with Cherry, if it's like certain things that I haven't done in a relationship, or that I'm still insecure about because of what happened in my last relationship, that's what's holding me back. And that's what I need to heal from, right? That's what is still broken for me. Oh, shoot. So I started only drinking alkaline water. Like, my Crohn's is not letting me drink that spring water. The tap water is like, honestly, like had me so sick now. And now the only water I drink is the alkaline. So I don't know if you onto that or not either, but like, get you some. So when we look at this energy, the 5 and the 0, first of all, like, come on, tap in, Spirit. The 5, first of all, is an energy of flexibility. It's the energy of creativity. This is literally, we're looking at our sacral chakra here that is being blocked. The creativity, the femininity. Even you might be experiencing like, you could be on a celibacy journey. You could be experiencing like a dry spell in sex period, or just feeling like you are not wanting that, like craving it, like your libido, I think that's what it's called, is down, is being all impacted by this, okay? And then once again, you want to look at the fifth house and see what do you have in your birth chart in the fifth house. And this is going to put a magnify. I 100% guarantee you that it's going to make sense. Like, oh yeah, I need to go back and kind of like process my emotions around this situation that happened to me. So right now what we're doing is we're kind of like setting that break, and we're putting the cast on it, and we're going back to heal some stuff that wasn't processed within us. And then the next card that we have coming out is card number 39, and it says it is consistent, and it's kind of like it doubles up in threes, like if you could see. The first thing with the lemons with this card is like life gives you lemons. And this is very much giving me the energy of transmutation, of you taking one thing. And like literally this week I had made lemonade from scratch. So that's funny. But like, you know, when you take lemon, you take it and then you add stuff to it and then it becomes lemonade or whatever. And like, basically what spirit is just saying is not only do you have the tools to make this transmutation in front of you, but right now what is blocking you is that you're not being consistent enough in your endeavors. So if it feels like something's not working out for you or you're not getting the results that you want, it's because you just not been consistent enough. And you know what that means for you personally, because this is like this is a collective reading. So you have to be the one to be like, okay, let me take a moment to have some reflection. What am I not being consistent in? What's not growing for me? What is not doubling and tripling? Okay. And spirit says that once you do that, then, you know, it's definitely going to make a break or change in your finances. The next card that we have coming out is the number 33. Okay. Big solar plexus energy. Okay. And when we think about 33, this is the master. So life path 33 is the master giver. Excuse me. I'm going to link that video if I haven't ran out of links already, because it might be a message that you need to hear. Okay. Life path 33 is the master giver. So what spirit is saying too with this money card is that want to be in your receiving mode, you know, releasing that lack mindset around your feelings about money. And also the more consistent you are, then the more it's going to pay off for you in a physical way. Okay. Definitely, as we are in Scorpio season, it has the potential to be a season where you are getting more financial opportunities. And it's important for you to think about how it is that you are handling or mishandling those opportunities, where you are putting your energy, and if it's towards the version of who that you're trying to become. Okay. So just really processing your emotions about that and then allowing it to manifest into actual opportunities that create money for you in real life. The next card that we have is number 16. Okay, 1 is the number of manifestation and 6 is the number of unconditional love. This card says this has to do with you. This is only reiterating the information that I had with the music message for the Mariah the Scientist song. Where you could see these two cars bumping into each other. It's like in an accident. You know when you get into a car accident and then two people hop out their car and they like, this is your fault. No, this is your fault. Like in my mind's eye, that's all that I'm seeing is that energy being interacted. And I feel like, first of all, go back and listen to this week's episode. It is a long episode, but it's totally worth it. When you are having communication issues with people, you know what I'm saying? You got to reflect on what type of communicator that you're being in. And also, is this person capable of communicating with you healthily based on who they are as a person and if they've met themselves deep enough. One thing that I say in Couples Guide to Intimacy is that you cannot meet a person you can only meet a person as deeply as that you've met yourself, and another person can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. So that's when acceptance comes into place. Okay, you need two things: accountability and acceptance. And you can't change another person. You can't make another person grow. You can't make another person heal. And that's when it's time for you to realize, do I need to take my energy out of this situation? Have I, and if you're past, this is a past situation where you have taken your energy out of it. Okay, well, why are these emotions still coming up? Why are you still dwelling on this? What haven't you accepted to have closure and move into the next cycle of who you are at this point? Okay. And then the last card that we have coming out is good karma. Okay, number 43. This is stability and also more creative energy flowing within you as a reward from the universe, a reward from your higher self for all of the efforts that you've been putting in lately, not only in a physical way, but also efforts towards your mental health and your emotional health and finding balance in all the different areas of your lives. Okay, this is more good karma coming out of this situation. And especially with this watch, Spirit really wants you to know and understand during this time that everything is divine timing. The universe is not rewarding you based off of whatever trivial things that your ego has made up of what makes you deserving or undeserving. You are deserving just because you are you. You are worthy and valuable to have all good things. One thing that Spirit really is touching on right now, and just like somebody's spirit guide is like, raise the price. Okay, there is no such thing as right or wrong timing. There's only divine timing. Okay, and it will behoove you to, instead of worried about how you're gonna complete something, when you're gonna complete something, even why or where or who's going to help you complete it. And the best question is what? What is it that you are trying to complete? What is it that you're trying to become? And then you can start to answer those questions yourself by, thinking about, okay, I know the what. The rest of the answers are going to come as I go through this journey on whatever it is that I'm working on, whether it's your own ascension, personal growth, whether it's a business, whether it's an idea, whether it's a new skill, whatever you're doing, even if it's just your relationships. Okay, know that being present where you are right now is going to get you a lot further than harping on the past or worrying too much about the future. So with all that being said, make sure you are not allowing your fears to hold you back this week, that you are stepping into pleasure and moving into direction of the things that make you feel good, the things that make you feel more creative, and ultimately romanticizing your life, having gratitude for where you are right now and just feeling good about the little things in your life, like finding the happiness in every part of your day. Waking up and get a shower, shit, I'm happy as fuck that I have hot water. There was times when I was growing up and we did not have hot water. Like, I am grateful for that on a daily basis. Like just having gratitude for the little things. Going to work instead of feeling like, I hate this job, I don't want to go to work. Okay, well, I'm grateful that at least at the end of this 2 weeks, I'm going to have the money to pay my bills. You know what I'm saying? And anything you don't like, make the effort to change. That's just on period. Thank you guys so much for joining me and watching this video. I hope that it was super helpful for you. And I'm sending you guys so much love, healing vibrations, and positivity. And as I find balance within my own self, then I will post more content. This message very much applies to me as well. Have an amazing week. Happy Saturn Day. Peace out.